Hey there! Today we'll have a look at these two pens. And these two pens are by Fountain Pen Revolution. That means you can only get them from fountainpenrevolution.com. Kevin there sent me these two pens, and Fountain Pen Revolution has launched a whole bunch of their own pens, and these are their latest pens, the Jaipur, and we've had the Guru and the Dilly and all kinds of others. This is the Jaipur model. Comes in a couple of finishes, as you can see. Has the Indian smell that if you've ever used a noodleless pen or an Indian pen smell. I meant Indian pen smell. I hope I said that, just to be sure. Interesting smell, interesting pens too. And I was quite excited to try these out. These pens retail for $18 US dollars, and if you want to have a special nib, be it broad, stub or flex, you pay $3 more. And to be honest, I think that's not at all bad. These are inexpensive pens that give you a bunch of interesting options. Piston filled, they have flex nibs available, and ebonite feeds, which means you can heat set them to put on other nibs, etc. That's pretty neat. Now, I'm going to cover the parts of the pen. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. These are the same model, but in different colors. Just for the sake of clarity and demonstration, I'm going to use the clear pen. At least, kind of clear. Alright, here we go. Top of the cap there, the finial, as you can see, a little blue, well, conical pyramid. There's a name for that, and 1,000 people are going to point that out to me. And then we have the clip. Clip is simple, and as with I think all of the Fountain Pen Revolution pens I've tried, it's nice and springy. It's just the way I like it. You can probably bend this, but it's very easy to just, boom, put that in somewhere. It's very, very easy. I like clear pens. It's very cool. You can see the nib on this one. There's no shaded inner cap or anything. You have the actual pen and the piston turning knob. I kind of like this blue, clear blue scheme, and that's actually you also get the blue section. The cap unscrews, so you won't accidentally pull it off or pull it out of your shirt pocket, leave the pen in or anything. Won't happen. And you get the nib, and then you have the section and a pretty big ink reservoir. And as you can see, you have to be a little bit careful not to spill any ink. It's a piston filler, so you turn the knob, piston inside moves up and down. It's actually very smooth. I'm just trying to do this very slowly so that you can actually see. Piston moves up and down, and you draw up ink from a bottle, and I have actually managed not to spill ink. It's a miracle. Okay, simple pen, a little bit of ink there, but that's okay. Simple pen, nice section. Section has a simple, fairly blocky shape, and then there's these threads. Threads are a little sharp, but I've definitely felt worse. When you hold them, there's enough space for your fingers to put them there, and you won't have any issues. You won't feel those threads, which I think is really nice. If you want, you can post the pen, and then you have a very nice pen. It's a bit big posted. As you can see, there's quite some dead space in there, but it's quite nice. And unposted, I think this is a nice size pen. It's not particularly small. Decent size, decent diameter, just looks good. Pistons move very smoothly on both pens, and as I said, they draw up a really nice, decent amount of ink. Now, the final thing I wanted to show you was the feed. The feed is ebonite. This is not a plastic feed, and that makes a big difference, because that means you can take out the nib that's on it, put on another nib, and if you want, heat set it. You can do that much more easily than you can with any other type of pen. So I think that's a very cool feature. Finally, with some piston fillers, if you post them, you can accidentally operate the piston and you will accidentally expel ink. That will not happen with this one. So I think that's actually a pretty cool design. So I really enjoy that. So I really enjoy that. Now, one thing that stood out to me, that sounded like it's a bad thing, but one thing that stood out to me very positively is that both of these pens wrote. pretty much out of the box. I have cleaned them, which is something I always do. Just take a bit of water and 1 or 2 drops of dishwashing detergent, not really soap, dishwashing detergent, and flush them through. Especially I've experienced that with pens with ebonite feeds, Indian pens, etc. It's a very smart thing to do, but I pretty much do it with every pen. And they wrote. I was very pleased with the flex writing, the performance of this one. Has the flex nib on it, how it wrote. Out of the box, it will run dry. It will start a railroad. You'll see that in the writing sample, but it's quite a juicy flow, and that's very good. Out of the box, no tinkering required, no fiddling with the nib or the feed, it just writes, and I think that's very positive. Other things I like, well, I like the general look of the pen. Yes, it's simple, but hey, it's an $18 pen, alright? This is not a fancy celluloid, it's just a simple pen, a simple resin pen. I think that you know, for what it is, it's fine. Big ink capacity, that's nice if you use this as an artist or for flex purposes. It will not run out very quickly. So I think that's very neat. One thing, let's discuss a couple of things that I don't like so much. One thing is that I noticed that when I was cleaning the pen, the turning knob got a little slippery. And maybe that was just me, but at some point it started to get a little difficult to operate. Now, of course, easily remedied, you just dry off the turning knob, but it was just something that struck me. Another thing I would like to point out is that to make sure that you don't, I guess, overturn the cap, there is a little ridge right there. And it's not horrible, but especially on the clear pen, I think it looks a little bit ugly. That's aesthetics and could be my personal taste, but as you can see on the black one, I don't think it is as big of an issue. It's maybe just because it's the clear resin that it stands out just a little bit more. Also because it's not really polished extremely highly, so you can see it's a little bit rough around the edges. But again, guys, it's an $18 pen. The final thing I would like to remark is that as these pens are getting bigger, it would be really cool if we were to see a number 6 nib, because this is number 5, and as you can see, I think at least, it's a little bit small if you look at the overall size of the pen. I've posted it, not entirely fair, but even unposted, I think this would look amazing with a number 6 nib. So, just saying, Kevin, maybe for the next round you can consider number 6. I think it would be very, very cool. Okay, that's what I like about it. That's what I don't like about it. It's hard for me to say this because people are very eager to say that I'm overly positive towards a brand, but I think these are really cool pens. Fountain Pen Revolution puts out pens that are affordable, and I'm yet to see one that doesn't write well. You just have to have realistic expectations. An $18 pen is not going to give you the same look, feel, performance, etc. as a $500 pen. But for what you pay, you get a lot of fun. Ebonite and feeds in this case, nib swappability, buy nibs, get extra nibs, maybe you have a few number 5 nibs, put them on, heat set the feed, and you're ready to roll. So in a matter of 5 minutes, you can have a completely different pen ranging from fine to broad to flex to stubs to whatever you want. I think that's really cool. So I love it. I think it's a really, really cool set of pens. I will be giving these 2 pens away, but not yet. Ziza and I will do serious nibbage on it, and in that video we'll give them away. Okay, so if you like them, keep your eyes peeled, and maybe you'll win them. Measurements of the pen I will not give here, those will now be done on the website, so go to my website sbrebrown.com, you'll find high resolution pictures of the pens and my writing sample there, plus measurements. Okay, guys, hope this was useful so far. Kevin, thanks a lot for sending me these pens, I really like them, and of course we're going to pass the kindness forward. Guys, I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Okay, so here we go with, start with the black one. The Fountain Pen Revolution Jaipur. And this is, well, this is an interesting nib, but this is still, I thought this was the medium. But, you know, this is just a regular medium nib. And although it's interesting, I think the fun of these types of pens is in using the flex nib. So nothing horrible, just a simple nib. As you can see, there's a little bit of skipping there, but I found this to be much more interesting. Okay, so let's switch to this nib. This is the flex nib. Probably sounds fairly scratchy. The microphone, the camera always picks that up. It's not the smoothest nib I've ever used, but I can definitely live with that, and I'll show you why. Alright, that was just writing, a bit of fast writing maybe. Okay, keeps up pretty well. You see there's no real skipping here. As to the wetness, you can see that this is a fairly wet pen, but the real fun in this is right there, the flex writing. As you can see, I went pretty fast there. I can slow down a bit. I'm really pushing this nib here, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. So what you have here is an inexpensive flex pen that works. Out of the box, it writes, and it gives a lot of very nice line variation, which you can really use to your advantage to do fun stuff with, and I think that really is impressive. Now, for those of you who really want to, reverse writing, pretty scratching, ultra fine, but as I said, I think if you buy one of these pens, I would really get it with the flex nib and just have some fun there. And that's all there's to it. So, Kevin, thanks a lot for sending me these pens. I appreciate it. We'll give them away in the very near future. If you want to win them, keep your eyes peeled on my channel. Hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.